me.
He's a market.
No, I called you Mr. Bitch.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, Lord.
That explains why he hadn't been here.
Yeah, I don't care.
They issued on the 9th.
I'll do that.
State program.
I'm gonna tell him. No, budget.
And that's what he's saying about the vacation.
Oh, he's gonna join that.
Peg said every time we get to, she said, well, we're gonna be glad to
That's 600. Not one dollar. And then this one, we don't need all this money in this. So is there a way for us to get some of this money out to help with our people's taxes?
She used to be a woman, I like to go rest.
But even if it did,
Yeah, I like it.
see, I was told that once this money went in that account, it couldn't be taken out.
I told
And that
Peg the
don't
other night,
exactly seem fair.
Moore County got a pretty raw deal.
Paid to the county is one penny.
They did. Blair was a lot better.
If you move that right there into the bank of Fig, just that one amount, that would help so many people.
Well, quite a difference between the way the two act. When we was young, I guess that's the I've been to a that took it a little more serious.
That would be like your tax credit
But
property.
you never know what's there, folks.
It's based on that. And they've got so much money. And they accept so many people into that program. And the state, not the county, the state.
Nobody would have known.
So
And it wasn't, they didn't pick it.
that's on them. That's on the tax.
It's only like 4 or 5 Ruggles County has that. It's really doing a very good job of publicizing. And even taking the other trips. Well, Larry should have travel agent.
So there's a certain amount we have to keep,
Organized trips.
but it's still.
And he'd get paid for it. But it was still good.
He's moving around pretty good.
I think they just need to do away with it. If you did a straight tax, let's say you did a straight tax, everything you bought, you paid 12% tax.
All right, if I could have your attention, please. We'll go ahead and get our February council meetings going. We'll have our opening by Sheriff Tyler Hatfield. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance by Dexter Golden and our invocation by Gerald Burnett.
All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray. Father, we bow before you, knowing that you are our King. You created this county. You created our government. You created everything in this world, and we're so thankful for you. Thank you for giving us our homes to live in, our community and friends and family that we have here. We pray that as we, as a council and leadership, will put others first and think about the good of all of us and give us wisdom and strength to always make the right decisions. and forgive us when we don't. In Jesus' name, amen.
Anybody 65 day old, did you?
All right, I'm going to have roll call, please. Ms. Langston?
Robert Bracewell. Here. Sunny Ray Moorhead. Here. Marty Cashin. Here. Arvis Bobo.
Here.
Bradley Dye.
Here.
Shane Taylor.
Here.
Amy Cashin.
Here.
Jimmy Hammond.
Here.
John Taylor. Joe Burnett.
Here.
Dexter Golden.
Here.
Douglas Carson.
Here.
Houston Lindsay.
Here.
Peggy Sue Blackburn.
Here.
Greg Glenn.
We do have a quorum. You should have received in your packet a copy of the minutes from our January meeting. We'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
Peggy Sue with the motion. Is there a second? Robert with the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? We do have a few things to add to the agenda. Let's see, Austin W. Poss, Shane Clark, and Sylvia Hargrove for notary bonds. We'll add those under elections and appointments. Is there a motion to add these to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Shane with the motion, Miss Peggy Sue with the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, moving on to section D, we do not have anyone in the public comment section, so we'll move along to elections and appointments. We'll do all of these together. We'll have Austin W. Poss, Shane Clark, and Sylvia Hargrove as notary bond. Is there a motion to accept this?
Madam Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, Shane with the motion, Miss Peggy Sue with the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's move on to new business then. The first item is the solar farm update. Is there, who is gonna speak to us about the solar farm update?
I'll speak about the solar farm. We have a couple folks here. Should I come up front? I haven't been here before.
Sure.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brett Bowers. I'm with Silicon Ranch, the developer for the project that's going in. We have a few folks here today, both from Silicon Ranch and from LPL, who's the contractor that we've contracted with to do the build. I'm going to give a very kind of high-level update, and we're going to also open it up to LPL and provide more of the specifics behind the construction, etc. First, I want to do at least a couple intros so people know who you're looking at. So Brett Bowers, I'm one of the directors on the project execution side. I'm involved with the delivery and getting these things built from the owner's perspective. We have Maury here from our development team. Can you raise your hand so that people know? Brian Runyon is right here as well. He is the project manager from the owner's side, so he works for me, he's on our team. And we have two from LPL. We've got Robert, who is the project manager, basically lives on the site, and we have Mike behind him, who is the project exec for LPL. So understand that you guys may have some questions for us. We'll talk through some things today, but at least you know kind of who's who in the zoo tonight. Just a couple quick hits on site status, and I'm not sure the level of depth you may want us to go, but again, I'll have these guys jump in. Overall, construction's progressing well. I think right now we are in the thick swing of mechanical install, so a lot of the earthwork and kind of grading work has been completed. It will be maintained and managed as we go forward, but really transitioning into the part where all of the nuts and bolts and pieces go in, the piles get put in the ground, the trucks deliver the steel that goes on top, and eventually the modules will come, the solar panels themselves. So we can have LPL talk a little bit about what that looks like. But right now things are progressing well. I think it's important from your perspective to understand where we are with that mechanical install, I think there's gonna be, the next couple months are really the heavy swing of kind of up on plane, and the site is just producing and putting things in, and you'll see it start to develop more and more. Can't see it all from the road, but some parts you guys, I'm sure you've seen and will continue to see. As we get towards the fall, things will slow down a little bit, and there's a big focus for us on the commissioning, so the fine tuning, the getting the computer set up and everything, and making it so it can run. So there's a lot of heavy construction earlier, like you're seeing now, and it kind of slows down a little bit on the tail end, and if that's helpful, we can talk a little bit more about that. So right now, we're really in the swing. I think the only, other thing that I'd add before I hand it over to Robert and Michael, a lot of news lately. I know that TDEC conducted an inspection on Friday. I was there personally for that, for the entirety of the inspection and the after discussion with TDEC, as was Brian and as was Michael. So I know there's lots floating around about that. It sounds like we may have some questions, and that may be discussed at some point tonight as well, but happy to talk through the details behind that. So that's what I've got. I'll go ahead and hand it over. I'll just stand up here, but if you guys want to come up, we'll have the LPL gentleman come up as well. And you guys can talk a little bit more about the specifics of the construction, probably do a little bit better job than I can.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's nice to meet all of y'all. Proud to be a part of your community for a time being. It's been welcomed with open arms, much appreciated. But as far as the build goes, right now, we're, as Brett is saying, we're in the thick of, getting deliveries and, building the site throughout, the mechanical stages of it. Panels are coming in, we're getting about 30 trucks a day. It is congested, and it's a work in progress. It's a big site, it covers 1,400 acres. There's a lot of grading, a lot of moving pieces.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Cottle. Pleasure to be here this evening. We're here to work in conjunction with everybody and make sure we're getting things done, so our team's on top of everything to make sure we're facilitating the needs and to meet the team in the community.
Any specific things that you want us to
Sure.
highlight or to jump into? I'm not sure.
I have several here, so sorry everybody. But, question, from December, whenever we asked for the rock to be installed on the entrances and exits, how many loads of rock did y'all bring in from December to the end of January?
From December to the end of January, probably, we had 800 tons delivered last week. Before that, we were probably at 2,400 tons. So we're probably right around 3,200 tons of rock delivered at all the entrances. And that's just for the entrances, that doesn't count the roads.
Okay.
And that's 23 tons per truckload?
Yes, ma'am.
That's 2,300 per entrance. Would you repeat that again? What did you say?
2,400 ton and 800 ton is what I heard.
Is that per entrance or total truck?
Total.
I think you said 23 tons per truck, right?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of trucks, but yeah.
What are the dimensions of the rumble strips that we asked to be installed?
So we put in some, I believe they're 5 by 14 rumble strips. So we put them 2 wide and 4 deep on most entrances.
On most entrances?
Yes. And then we also put in cattle guards and everything else to help alleviate a lot of the track out in the mud.
Are y'all still having a truck wash station as they come in?
Yeah, so we actually implemented 8 wash stations over the past 3 weeks to go with that frozen weather. It really hurt us, It was cold temperatures, water doesn't like to freeze, pumps don't like it, so that really impacted.
Were y'all aware to not just limit, but quit the use of pulling in public driveways? Were y'all aware of that? Did that message get relayed back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we still have several pictures of people getting sweepers in their driveways. And they're not just paved or gravel they're gravel driveways, they're not just paved or concrete. So that needs to just go ahead and stop now.
Absolutely, we'll reiterate that to the team.
Is it just the sweepers that have been the focus?
The sweepers is the focus on
Okay.
going in people's driveways, but it's every working truck. There's plenty of area. I mean, no offense, y'all own the majority of the land around there, you can find a place to turn around.
Yes, sir.
Not in a public driveway. As far as coming out on the roads with your equipment and with your truck, do y'all have any flaggers on site whenever you pull out with heavy equipment on Blanson? I've not seen the first flagger, and I've had several complaints that y'all do not have anybody issuing people to come on and off. Not only just pulling out with heavy equipment, but pulling out in front of people.
Like pulling like vehicles, construction vehicles, pulling
construction
out,
equipment,
or
anything.
So we have a no equipment on roadway policy other than the street sweepers. So if that's happening, I'm unaware of it. but I will definitely look into it.
When did that go into effect?
Yeah, when did that go into effect? Because I seen
Well, that's
a large
happening.
loader on the road just this weekend.
This weekend?
Yes. Or Friday, is it a Friday or Saturday?
It shouldn't have, we didn't have any.
Multiple
work
times.
going on. So I'll definitely take a look at that.
On Friday, you didn't have any work?
No, we had delivery, we didn't have any deliveries going on, no production was going on. We were shut down because of the state inspection and everything else, getting the entrances back up.
Can you speak to, was that a particular location?
Absolutely. One was on Cumberland Springs and one was on Reservoir Road. And the stage production was not going on. There was people working on site.
There was people working on BMP measures and stuff for the state inspection.
There was burning going on. There was dirt work being done. I mean, I saw it personally. So to say that work was not going on, I would disagree with that.
Where are we at on the crushed culvert on Cumberland Springs?
Brian, do you want to talk to that? Is the culvert under Cumberland Springs where there's the little dip in the road and the cones are out?
So we've looked into that. It looks like, and we've talked to Shannon about it some, in the very quick term, she has to put some cones on each side of it, which we did just to help notify that there's something there. We've looked at it from the side. It looks like the bottom of the culvert's rusting out and the sediment under the culvert is actually washing away with the rainwater, which I think is leading the culvert to drop. So we are aware of it and looking at it. We went to look at it again last week, but the water level was too high to be able to get in there. We do obviously have a road agreement in place with you guys to repair any roads that get damaged, so it is on our radar. We're talking with Shannon about it. We just have to wait for the weather to kind of get in there, do an assessment of what you can do in the short term to fix it, as well as the long term.
I was about to say, the short term needs to be taken into place as well as the potholes.
Yeah.
I understand y'all are gonna be here for a while, but we're not gonna let people just continue to drive up and down through there until y'all decide y'all are done. We need those looked at.
Yeah, so we have that on the radar for sure, whether it's putting cold patch in there, trying to figure out some solution that we think will stay. We're afraid cold patch is just gonna pop right out as soon as you get in there, but it is on our radar. We were just talking about it this week. Obviously last week was a little hectic, so we didn't get there yet.
What local contractors have you reached out to help on this project?
A lot of rock dump truck vendors and stuff like that.
Anybody to help you on your silt fence install?
We have a company out of Nashville helping us, Greenrise. They do a lot for us.
Do y'all have any runoff over the silt fence right now?
Do we have runoff over the silt fence? Right now, after the half-inch of rain yesterday, I don't believe so. It wasn't reported to me.
And from what I'm understanding right now, T-Dec does not have their report back. Is that what you understand as well?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, unless you guys have seen it.
Oh, yeah,
Oak Hill's
I've
the
seen
permit
it,
holder,
yeah.
but no, we don't expect it within a business day. We expect it to get it hopefully within a week, 1 to 2 weeks, but I'm hoping it comes more quickly than that.
How often are the sweepers running up and down those roads? Do y'all have a time frame set off, or do y'all just
7 to 7.
any time they're just free to do it? When do they have a certain time they fall out equipment, fall out certain trucks? The biggest thing I'm seeing and hearing is that your personal trucks, not equipment, but your personal LPL trucks will pull out on the road, and that mud is just kind of staying on top of the road. The sweeper doesn't come out till later on. I mean, I just didn't know if y'all had a time frame. Do y'all set them out at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock?
No, so we have 8 sweepers on site currently. And then all 8 sweepers are supposed to be running, the whole time anybody's on site.
We have monthly planning and zoning meetings. I'm not saying that y'all would have to come to all of them, but I think it would be good if y'all would try to make it to, at least every other one to give us some kind of an update. I'm curious on some of the buffer strips. I know you're still in the midst of this right now, but y'all do understand there's a buffer strip that has to be maintained when this is finished? Okay.
I know that our police department was giving the drivers tickets for getting mud on the road, and I think personally the tickets should go to y'all, not the driver of the truck, because he's just trying to make a living, and it's not his fault you don't have your driveways properly fixed. And you're in a swamp up there, so you're gonna need 3 times as many gravels as you said you've got. Are you aware of the swamp condition up there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you should be by now.
We're getting used to it.
So you need probably 3 times as much gravel as you got now. And I think y'all should get the tickets, not the driver of the dump trucks or the driver of the trucks. That's mine.
Is this a
y'all do that?
federally funded project?
Bill Bredesen owns part of it.
It is not. Do you all receive any funds from federal?
We receive funds from the federal government. I mean, I won't be able to answer this incredibly accurately, but there are tax breaks at the federal level, mostly for domestic content that we take advantage of, but this land was bought by us and the project was financed by Silicon.
Are you federally funded in any way? Yes or no? That's all. Are you federally funded?
In any way. Does the federal government give you anything in any way? Period.
No, ma'am, not federal company.
Was there any requirement to check citizenship of employees?
Ice, baby.
Do you?
Yeah,
Every one of your guys are.
Go through E-Verify, yes.
Thank you. I wanted that on the record, please.
I just want to be clear on this. Silicon Ranch has come to our meetings, and I will say they have worked great with us. Anytime I have a question, Rob will always answer the phone and answer those. But I've not had anything from LPL. I've not had y'all here one time, and y'all been here long enough now to show up. And I'm sorry, I just think that's unacceptable. You can't sit here and say that you've done everything correctly from what's happened to the roads. You can't sit here and say that you tried to mitigate everything correctly. They might be able to, but at the end of the day, y'all hired them. They didn't hire you. So at the end of the day, this falls back on you and then also falls back on y'all. I would just appreciate some transparency and y'all coming in here to these meetings and telling us where y'all are at. And honestly, some apologies on some of these people that have to live next to this every day and dealing with it. I understand it's a construction site.
Yeah.
Imagine having to drive your personal vehicle up and down this road every day.
Yeah, we'll make sure we're here, often attend the meetings and everything like that, and we personally apologize for any inconvenience. We know this is not the easiest thing to get used to with the amount of trucks and things that are coming in, but, anytime we do hear a complaint, we're making sure we're putting best foot forward, make sure we take those proper mitigations. The street sweepers, we've gone above and put a bunch of street sweepers in place, as Rob said, to continue to sweep the areas. We're constantly maintaining the entrances, so what we did last week was just one thing, but we're constantly doing that over and over. As we see there's need for it, we're continuing to add additional measures, and as we see things, we're putting additional measures in place. So we've got wash stations in place to try to mitigate some more dirt from coming off the road. We've got more street sweepers going with vacuums and things of that nature, and continuing to just look and see what needs to be done. So we'll continue to do that and put our best foot forward.
I appreciate that.
I have a suggestion. On your entrances on Highway 55, I noticed there was a wreck up there a few weeks ago. And maybe if you guys put up some flashing lights on each side of the entrance or each side of the driveway, just a little yellow light that flashes to get someone's attention. Because, people that travel that road every day, we get to where we don't pay attention. And we don't realize there's a driveway there until it nearly slaps us in the face. So it might be a good thing to put up something to make your entrances show up some.
Okay, we'll take a look and see what's out there. And see
That would
what
help us
next
as drivers.
Once the TDEC report comes out, would y'all be willing to come back to the next meeting and discuss some of those things and the findings?
Yeah, I think absolutely.
Okay.
Is it a good time to give a little bit of our update from the TDEC report? I mean, I know we're all waiting on the report, which I'm told could be another couple of
We
weeks.
don't need
but-
lies, we need the truth.
Brett, you-
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk quickly on that. Thanks, Maury. So I think, there's been a lot of, I alluded to this earlier, a lot of kind of news traffic and chatter about it. Like I mentioned, a number of us were specifically at that meeting with TDEC. So TDEC had 3 complaints, I think, filed that they are required to perform a inspection as a result of those complaints being submitted to TDEC. So they came out. It was 5 TDEC representatives, and that included a drone pilot that they had there. We spent too many hours, not too many. It was a long day of going through the entire site. So I think we were there they showed up right around 9:30, 9:45, and we pretty much walked until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Saw that there was some information in an article that seems a little bit inconsistent with what we observed there. I will say that at the end of the day, when there's a complaint or complaints filed by TDEC, and this is from the lead inspector's notes when he talked us through this in the afternoon, there's really like 3 potential responses that can result after a complaint-driven inspection like what happened on Friday. And that is either a notice of violation, which is when TDEC will issue that a very specific, hey, you are in violation of XYZ, that can come with fines, etc. A step down from that is an advisement letter that says we have notified these issues with your ability to maintain compliance, etc., with notes specifically about what those are and how those need to be mitigated. And then a step down from that is an inspection report, which is issued regardless of what the outcome is, just says, hey, we were there, we performed an inspection, here's the report that details the findings and outcomes of that inspection. TDEC let us know that the inspection report is what we would receive as part of this. So there is no ticking clock currently. There's no specific outline of items that were identified as like you are not in compliance with A, B, and C. There are issues with any construction site that have to be constantly maintained, like these gentlemen talked about. You asked about silt fence being over top. Like there's areas where when we get a lot of rain, the site gets a lot of rain, these guys and their crew, 40 or 50, whoever your full-time crew is for that, are out there making those repairs. Like that's part of the thing. So absolutely don't want to sit here and say, hey, the site's perfect, it's amazing, the site is in good shape. We expect, like you said, Dexter, to see this inspection report issued from TDEC hopefully soon, hopefully this week, and as soon as we get that, we can share that out. But I think that's the key takeaway. We are, unless TDEC gives us something that they said they would not, we are not under the impression that there's anything coming from TDEC that is anything close to a violation or even an advisory violation. Did want to talk to that because it's open. Am I allowed to call people?
Can I ask the project manager, how many local people from Moore County are employees?
Right now, we're running about 35% of local people, and that's local to the area, not necessarily Moore County.
We can probably, drill it out that detail.
Or we can take that and look to see if we can figure out that little detail, because that's an important step.
Anybody else have any other questions for these guys?
We're done with them.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Al.
What is the speed limit on that road, Douglas?
On which
Cumberland
road?
Springs, sorry.
I'd be 35.
Sir, what was your name? I'd love to talk to you after about that specific place on Cumberland Springs, about where you said you saw the loaders. That's very
Douglas Carson.
Douglas?
If
Okay,
it's,
cool.
if it's
I've got
not
a map, so we might be able
posted,
to mark it up.
state says all roads would be 55, but this body passed something years ago that's saying if it's not posted that it would be 45. Okay, so it would assumably be 45 on those. But now's as good a time as any to bring it since you brought it up. Shannon Reed had talked to me a little bit earlier today because we are entering per se into the rainy season and the issues we've had on the road out there now with the mud and all that, about possibly for safety's sake temporarily lowering the speed limit on 5 Points as well as Cumberland Springs. I was gonna bring that up in other committees, but you brought it up now, and I would make a motion to do that temporarily, to lower the speed limit to 30 miles per hour on 5 Points as well as Cumberland Springs Road.
What about Raysville?
Right, I wouldn't have an issue doing it on Raysville as well, so I would like to add that to my motion. Is Raysville Road,
So can
Cumberland
you
Springs, and 5 Points.
restate your motion, please, sir?
I would like to make a motion to temporarily lower the speed limit on Raysville, 5 Points, and Cumberland Springs Road to 30 miles per hour.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
Do we have to include Motlove Road that goes up the hill?
Keep bringing up all these.
Is that a
roads.
private road?
No,
On
it's not.
Motlove College?
No, it's not a private.
I just,
I'm just, I know it's not a,
It's a short stretch.
they're gonna go out.
coming off the hill, up the
I was
hill.
gonna say, so are we talking a specific section which is within the construction zone? Or the
I
whole?
would, because pretty much Cumberland Springs would be all construction zone. 5 Points is pretty much the same way, and with the, I know there's big trucks going up and down Motlove Road that you say that now, it's because they were at one time getting water up there off of the hydrant, so I would include that as well, as just temporarily, and maybe relook at it in 6 months. I don't know how long this project's going for, but I know we're gonna have trucks in and out there for a while.
I'll second it.
Could just do,
I got mine.
So there's a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
could we just do it until further notice, or do we have to set a time frame?
I think we revisit it in 6 months.
Yeah.
When you say 5 points, tell me which section you're talking about, from,
From Highway
55
55
to
to
5.
Motlow College intersection
Okay.
with 130.
okay.
That's where the main part of the construction is there.
So what about the highway, where we had a wreck? Shannon, can you speak on any of that?
I don't know, I'm not familiar with that wreck.
The wreck, I believe, was, due to some stuff in the roadway. I don't think
It was a rear end.
I don't think it was due to the actual vehicles pulling out or turning in.
I think most of the complaints that I'm hearing is on these secondary roads. I hadn't heard any, actually, myself, from 55.
I'm complaining.
Shannon, do you-
Can we maybe get a clarification on what part of Raysville are we talking from Fletcher to or to Cumberland Springs or New Harvey?
I don't see any need going past Fletcher.
I'll say within the construction area there.
Yeah, I don't see any need going past Fletcher Road. So from Fletcher Road to Cumberland Springs Road in Raysville. All of Cumberland Springs. 5 points from 55 to the five-way intersection.
All of 5 points.
All of it.
Okay,
And Motlow College, I'm sorry, Motlow College Road.
Motlow Road.
Motlow Road, I'm sorry, yeah. You think I'd know that by now?
We did 30 mile an hour Motlow already. Motlow College.
What is the speed limit on Motlow College?
I mean, it's about 15, right?
Through the college,
On Motlow College,
Cut through?
Ledford Mill Road.
I mean, it's
That's
15
Ledford
right in
Mill.
front of the school.
But yeah, it's 15.
no.
What's 30 to 50?
You talking about Motlow College Road or Lefford Mill?
Motlow College Road,
Motlow College Road, it cuts from Lefford Mill over to 41A, correct?
Cumberland Springs to,
No, that's Motlow.
That's
That's what
Motlow
I
Road.
did. I steered you wrong
Oh,
on
is that
that unit.
Motlow?
Yeah.
Motlow Road, yeah.
oh, okay, what is it, you know?
It would, if it's not posted, again, it would be 45. I can't tell you if there's signs there now off the top of my head.
Don't believe there is.
That road's used a lot.
Yes, it is. I just included it in there, so.
so
35.
30.
30. So the motion, from what I understand,
Give me restate it.
sure, that'd be great.
I'd like to make a motion to temporarily lower the speed limit on Motlow Road, Cumberland Springs Road in its entirety, Raysville Road from Fletcher Road to the intersection with Cumberland Springs, and 5 Points Road from 55 to the intersection of or Ledford Mill Road at Motlow College, to 30 miles per hour.
All right, so there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, moving along on to the second item on under new business is the jail renovation plan.
So, plans are drawn and approved by TCI. That's kind of been the holdup. We've been back and forth with the state, and TCI is the governing body that governs our jail. This is Tim Little with OLG Engineering. They're the company that drawn the plans and made, gotten everything ready to go, basically to bid. So right now, what we're here for, if you all want to see or hear from Tim on the specifics of the project, if you have any questions for him, this is basically just letting it out to bid. Once it's bid, we'll bring back numbers for you guys to approve. But this is kind of giving the scope of what we're looking to do. So, I'll turn it over to you.
This is what we looked at with the sheriff and everyone there. The kitchen, food service, the hood's been a problem with TCI state and everything for some time, so this would remodel, renovate the kitchen, get it up for feeding the population down there, setting it up to be able to handle that. So we'd be reconfiguring that in its entirety to get the kitchen, the equipment, the hood in there. Remodeling just a little bit outside the kitchen in the intake booking area to make it flow, function with today's environment and needs there with booking, the booking intake areas. We've also got a small area for some ceiling repair in the, 2016
Yes, 15.
era where some water damage got, and the base was looking to repair the roof, getting new fasteners in, reinforcing that, and repairing some structure back in the old original jail with decking and rafters there that have gotten wet through the years. So sealing out the water, remodeling the kitchen, addressing the booking intake, and I was like setting the visitation up to capture some more space there to help with the kitchen booking intake, the existing visitation. And it accommodates, we're talking to the sheriff, it works with them. We have already been through TCI, we don't have the final formal approval, but we did the informal review with them, as well as State Fire Marshal's office. Just, is everybody good with this before we finalize it, getting any comments? So we got that wrapped up. And the other thing we've got, I know 5 years ago, we looked at trying to capture some storage space there for some female dorm space. It's an existing room, just adding in a shower and restrooms for it. They'll make that some additional housing for them. So we've got kind of being able to try to piece all that together and get that on the street to get bids, to get you real numbers for it. If you want to look at things, I can show you the layout of the space or how we need to do.
With these upgrades, what is the capacity going to be? Because you'd mentioned the inmate capacity for this upgraded kitchen.
So officially, our bed capacity is 29. There's a male drunk tank that is a concrete bed that they will not count as a bed, but that's an extra housing area. It will take us officially from 29 to 31. It's adding to where I think we're 5 square feet short of being able to add 30. Yeah, but there's a minimum square footage requirement through TCI that says for any day room you have to have X number of floor space, and we're 5 short from being able to add another body.
Do you know what our average inmate population is at any given time?
We're typically in of the 25, 26 range right now. With females, no jail in Tennessee, especially any that's been built in the last 30 or 20 years, or at least that was built 20 to 30 years ago, we built it adequate female space. That's kind of one of our biggest hurdles at times. We have to get creative and work with the jails around us a lot of times for housing inmates are sentenced.
Do you know how many of those inmates are in there for charges from Moore County on average?
On the female side?
Of the 25-ish.
I would venture to say all of them. I mean, we don't really, we might have a trustee that's from Bedford County or from Franklin County, but they're pulled for specific reasons because they're long-term stays, someone that we can get on the mowing crew or litter crew and that kind of thing. But the majority of our inmates are
Thank you.
Did we decide, and this might be a little off topic, but the roof, I know we had talked about a standing seam or a screw down.
Yes, and we had an inspection done by a company, and they gave us kind of a ballpark number, and it was.
It moves into a different area code.
Yeah, it was about $500,000. So, we axed that very quickly.
It can make you a long-term roof for sure.
Yeah.
But it has costs.
Yeah, right now, the project we're looking at is pulling the existing screws out, making sure that, we will repair any of the areas that need addressing, obviously, but pulling the existing screws out and go with sides up, drill them out, and go back with a larger fastener.
Goodbye, that much more time.
Yes.
I guess that's what the question I was gonna ask. I mean, you expect this upgrade to last how long?
At least on as far as food service goes, it will be sufficient for a long time. Yeah, the only thing we would have to address moving forward would be if we get into a housing issue and how the number of inmates that we're housing on a daily basis. As of right now, we're holding, so. But the caveat is I don't have a crystal ball, so.
Exactly what is wrong with the kitchen? Exactly. What is wrong with the kitchen?
It is a residential kitchen there with a 4-burner residential stove trying to feed 30 people. The kitchen hood there is also the residential version. Well, it's a stepped up from a residential version. It does not meet the current requirements, and the fans failed and everything, so it's got to come up. So we're addressing getting food service in there to be able to handle 30 people, and the meal requirements from the state with that, as well as taking care of the hood while we're in there with type 1 hood with its makeup, suppression, exhaust, everything in there with it.
Oh, I'm getting heartburn.
The space to prepare for 30 people is tight in there for sure.
I know a lot of restaurants that run to a full burner.
Yeah.
And they serve these.
Excuse me. I think any questions that we have, we can hold those till after the meeting, unless, you're on this board. So, does anybody else on the council have any questions for this?
Are y'all going back with stainless steel or the same particle board?
Stainless
counters?
steel. Stainless and
Okay.
masonry.
That would've been the smart thing to do to begin with.
Hindsight's always 20/20, right? All right, good deal. Anybody else, you got any questions?
How long before we get bids back? Do y'all know?
I mean, if y'all told me tonight, I'm
July 1st.
a week to two just from having everything bundled back up then with new dates and times. So I would say you're in the 45 to 60 days, time you give adequate bid time, advertising, getting it through everyone, having bids back. So with this being the 15th of February, 1st of April, 15th April-ish.
All the screws going back down since they're doing that, I know they got a couple of new styles out now, and I'm curious which one y'all are gonna use. They used to use just a metal washer sitting on top of the rubber. Now they've got a complete dome, and it'll give you a little longer life on a set of screws. Is that something?
We're trying to take it as far as we can without going over and putting in good fasteners, trying to get them back into solid backing as much as we can.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item is our highway road list for 2026. You should have copies of these in front of you. Shannon, you wanna go ahead? No, that's all, but you wanna address?
Well, briefly.
Okay.
There was so much inaccuracy in the statements from the solar farm that I don't even know where to start. I'm not gonna waste your time with that, other than to say that we're at a point now where the highway department will no longer be tolerating any mud drug out into the road, and we will take whatever action we need to take to stop that.
Amen.
Then we'll move on. If anybody has any questions about the summary of changes, the road list,
Looks good to me.
Just wondering how this M&M Ranch Road was missed for so long. Was it just the residents there?
with lightning hit, and no, I just didn't catch it. I just did not catch that it did not get re-entered.
I mean, it's
Yes.
17 years.
Yes, you're right. Even the audit we had did not catch it.
How did we rediscover it?
I try to go over it every year, and just to make sure that and I just happened to notice that it wasn't on there this time. That's entirely my fault. I just did not catch it. But if you would like to see the old road list, I'll be more than happy to provide, email them to you, whatever you need. And while I'm up here, do y'all want to talk about the surplus?
Yeah, I was gonna say, while you're here, let's go on to the surplus items.
We are cleaning house. Some of these pieces have had parts stolen off of them for years. And now the pieces that we were stealing for also wore out, so we're ready to get rid of them now.
All right, anybody have any questions or comments for Ms. Shannon? This is all information purposes, no action for us.
Shannon, you gotta take action on that.
The road list.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the road list.
I'll second.
I'll second
Yes, I
it.
guess it's been a long time since we've done that.
Yeah, you
then.
gotta make them for both of them. You
For
can
the
do them
road.
together, but.
Okay.
I'll also make a to add the surplus to that motion as well. Make a
I'll
motion
second
to
it.
approve the surplus list as well as the road list.
And I'll second his motion.
You're out there.
I don't know how you got left out.
I can't hear you from there.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, moving on to the Jackson Law Ordinance. Should have information in your packet. About the Jackson Law Ordinance.
Is this gonna consist of closing the square down?
This is about landfills.
Make a motion, we pass the Jackson
Oh,
law.
I'm on the wrong one,
I'll
sorry.
second that.
It's not got anything to do with the
I
square.
skipped one.
Gerald with the motion, Jimmy with the second. Any discussion? Any questions?
Not specifically on this, but is planning and zoning going to work on establishing guidelines? Because that's one of the things in here is that the county gets to establish.
We have an industrial ordinance, and I think that already gives us some teeth. The Jackson Law is just extra is what I'm understanding.
As long as we have plans and zoning, we're in good shape, but this is a scotch under to anything that happens if the state or somebody else comes in, nothing can be done for this body, no matter what. So,
And that's what I'm saying.
it's kind of confusing.
Do we want to work before, I mean, and this may never come to Moore County, but I'm just saying, do we want to cobble together some generic, basic principles for the future, or just wait until that time comes and see what plot of land they're looking to try and put it on?
And we can look into the industrial and kind of see what we have now, and if we need to tailor anything to it specifically, we could add to that. We'll work on that at the next planning meeting and get back.
I think this would be like getting ahead of.
Yes, it's by far getting there. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on, you should have in your packet a letter about Spring in the Hollow activities and the request from the chamber about the square activities. Here it is. April the 25th. It doesn't look like they're asking to close the square traffic. The vendors will be positioned on the interior of the square. Anything to add about any of that?
Kind of standard,
Okay.
pretty much same setup every year.
So is that
A motion?
a motion
To approve, yes.
to approve?
I know.
Second it.
Thank you.
We're a little slow.
They're slow on that one.
Yeah. I'm getting hungry.
Support. Any discussion, questions? All right, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item is the Vibin in the Hollow 5K. I'm not sure of the details on that, did I miss
We
it?
didn't get any details that I saw.
There
There's your details.
There you go.
So this, has been done the last couple of years. The route is, it will start at Wiseman Park, it will come down the bottom side of Wiseman Park and go up, South Mechanic to the bottom side of the square, down the bottom side of the square, down to Main Street, and then to the new park. They will enter the new park in the gravel parking lot, turn around, and then make the exact same trek back. The only difference is they will be re-entering the park at the county building, and then the final leg of the run is down the back side of the park. So, really and truly, we're looking at from Wiseman Park up to Elm Street, and then down to the new park. And then once the last runners re-enter the road, we just tail the last runners until they are off the road, and then the road, it's back open. It's usually very early in the morning, say, or not fairly early, it's 8 o'clock, and there's not a whole lot of traffic, so it's usually not a big deal.
It's not raining, it'll be okay.
Thank you. I apologize, there was something in the packet, and I did read it, I just didn't put that name with it. Okay, so is there a motion to approve those plans for Vibin in the Hollow?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Carson, Survey. Any more discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We did have a number 8 on our agenda, but we are not addressing that this evening. So we'll move on to old business. The hazardous mitigation plan that we brought up last month. Ms. Lacy sent out the link. I think Jason sent out the link. So it is back to us for action.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Carson and Jimmy. Any discussion?
I guess I was looking at page 14, there was a lot of things on that plan, where's Jason? And from last time that didn't get done.
So they normally don't get done because it basically sets us up for federal funding for all this stuff. So we have to put in the grant work, paperwork, and everything to do it. And some of it you see ongoing, like one of them was the retrofit shelters, hookups for the warming centers, the generator stuff. So we got the fire hall done about a year ago, I guess it was, and it's like a 75 to 25% match of federal funds. And now we're going to look at the utilities next, like I said last time. So now we're going to look at our water facilities and stuff. So that way, if we get hit with an ice storm like was just a little bit north of us last time, everything like that, all our water facilities, pump houses, all that stuff, will stay continue working if we lose electricity and stuff. So that's our next plan and goal. So these are just ideas that the team comes up with as far as when they look at the risk to see how we can mitigate some of these risks when a natural disaster or some kind of man-made event happens. And so this is what the projects come up with to try to, for personal safety and property safety for us, try to mitigate that damage and stuff. So this is what they sort of come up with. As long as the federal funds ain't there to do it, we don't necessarily do it unless we come up with a local option. We pay for it locally if we choose to take that on. But this is just for that federal funding piece of it and stuff. So if we don't do it, then it just stays for in 4 years. They'll renew this plan and they'll either continue these projects on there or they'll take them off, depending on where we're at.
I don't remember which one I was thinking about, but it seemed like there was 1 or 2 of those items that looked like stuff we really should address for the county, but like the storm shelters and stuff like that, that if we have a storm, I mean, we wish we had them.
Yeah, so those are high on our list. Utilities is one of them for sure, it's high on our priority list. The next one that we looked at talking about was the storm shelters placed out in communities, and we were going to look at either next to the fire halls that are out in the communities. So there were some ideas to do that. We tried to piggyback on the school renovation, but we didn't get time on yet with the federal funding stuff to get released in to try to retrofit like safe holding areas to have more rooms in the schools. So that's one of our plans. So when the federal funds come up and they're readily available, then we can apply for them. These are already topics we can apply for and apply.
The only other thing I was thinking about when I was reading it was, did y'all consider the debris from the solar farm? I mean, if we have a tornado that comes through Moore County and those glass, whatever they are, I mean, it could be substantial.
It could.
So
I
I
thought they
actually
put-
looked that up yesterday.
Good.
Because that was a concern that I had. The federal government has actually looked into that, and according to them, not something to be concerned about because the amount of time that it would take for the heavy metals to leach into the waters, like the bulk of that stuff would get cleaned up. Obviously, batteries and transformer oils, you'd have an immediate spill. But long-term, you're talking very minimal risk, because that's.
I guess I was thinking more of just blowing it, flying debris, not necessarily the streams and all that, but.
Yeah, so we would take those into considerations. Those would be our C&Ds, is what underneath our, we have actually a debris management plan that's in place also, and that's for any tornado damage. That would be on our category C&Ds, like our washers and dryers that came out of the house, any of that stuff. So that'd be part of that process. And that's where we would work with Shannon, and get temporary sites, or we would work with the state, and they would bring in contracted funding of different things like curtain burn areas type deal, like when I went to East Tennessee for that. You got grinders that get put in place and everything like that, so you come up with temporary ways to do it besides it would go through our solid waste. And then things would help out with the same stuff, but it would fall underneath our debris management plan most likely.
Didn't we have the solar farm to put in place money for if they had problems, cleanup?
I think that's just at their decommissioner.
The life.
Oh, that's after it blows up in the fire, okay.
Okay, so we have the motion and the second. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, the next item is the discussion on the data center moratorium. Do you have the information?
My review of this is looking through it. It's substantial concerns that's going on throughout the country. And many communities with the impact that these data storage centers have on your electrical grid and your water supply, noise, and various things. My suggestion is, on the moratorium, is to refer this to the planning commission. Keep it in line with our zoning ordinance. Refer it to the planning commission, let the planning commission come back with a recommendation to the board on what they think we should do with respect to the moratorium.
So does that mean you will have recommendations that the planning and zoning commission will work
I think the planning
with?
commission needs to come back to this commission with recommendations. That,
Wasn't the recommendation a moratorium?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
well, you'd have to do an ordinance. But to adopt the ordinance in accordance with the zoning ordinance, it needs to come from the planning commission at this point.
So you say to make
So you,
a motion, or you will come back with it?
no, I'd like to get it as soon as possible.
On our last meeting, we addressed this and we voted to bring this to the council's attention for a vote on a moratorium.
Yeah, I mean, before that we even, I mean, I guess that's what we want to make sure we're doing right, because it's 2 times we have brought it here from the planning. The planning did take a vote to send it to the council.
Okay, so I guess the next thing is to, I guess, draft a proposed ordinance from.
Okay.
And publicize the public hearing on that ordinance.
Now, in this ordinance, and I'll need guidance on how to word this legally and everything. I mean, like, we want to do a moratorium, but I'm understanding we can't do a moratorium.
You can do a moratorium, I think you can. There's litigation going on.
Okay.
Ongoing, there's one particular suit going on in Kentucky right now. In Franklin, Kentucky. It's a small community of about 10,000 people, but it's in litigation.
Okay.
But we will not be the first county to have adopted a moratorium.
Okay.
So, first reading. motion for first reading of the moratorium. We'll have a public hearing next month and have second reading.
I would do the, well, what we've got to publish to be in line with our zoning ordinance, we've got to publish a summary of what's going to be included in the ordinance and the caption of the ordinance. So I think the best thing to do would be draft a proposed ordinance, submit that to the, this body, and let this body look at it, and then prepare your public notice for the hearing that gives a summary of what would be in the ordinance and the caption of it. Those two things generally have to be in the public notice.
So next month, we'll have a proposed ordinance and that'll be first reading.
There's no way to get it to now first reading.
Well, could we take a vote tonight to not issue any permits until the outcome of this proposed ordinance? I mean,
That's a Bill question for sure.
yep. While, it sounds like we all intend to establish this ordinance. So we could take a vote right now to not issue any building permits for any businesses whose principal activity is data processing until the establishment of this AI data center moratorium.
I think you can go ahead and do that. You can be challenged on it, but unless you're challenged on it, it's not going to. But that's essentially a moratorium going through the back door to the moratorium, but it's not an amendment to the zoning ordinance, but it would most likely be considered. I think the safest way to do it is to have the first reading next month with the ordinance before you, the proposed ordinance before you. Then you know then you can provide a summary of the ordinance and its caption.
So in the meantime, is that?
Well, in the meantime, I think you can put your public notice now. I can draft the proposed ordinance. And then you can put your public notice in for the first meeting next month.
So as long as the public notice has been issued that we intend to have this ordinance, it covers.
You've got to have a short summary and a caption.
Okay. No need to say that we're not going to issue permits until.
I think what you could do, vote tonight to instruct since it's been recommended by the planning commission to instruct the attorney to draft the ordinance, the proposed ordinance and the notice.
There you go. There's your motion.
To draft the ordinance and the public notice.
I'd second that.
I was gonna say, is there
Any
anything you wouldn't
discussion?
second?
You know I will.
Questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Any other committees need to make report?
I make a motion to go home.
So in your packet, you have the report for the building permits. That's just for information. Any other council members have questions or comments that need to be brought before the board? Otherwise, we will entertain that motion to adjourn that Ms. Peggy Sue made. Is there a second? Any
Bradley, you second that?
I've already got it.
Thank you for your $50.
Hold on just a second. We have a motion and a second to adjourn, but we have questions or comments.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to, only if you allow me to have one update that you forgot to mention, it'll take 30 seconds, but.
30 seconds, go.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
2 seconds, but.
I didn't, not to bring this back up again, but I did want to note that, I'd like to add that regarding the TDEC inspection, Tony Grove was not present on site for that inspection on Friday the 13th, and I guess this was farm, and I think Grayson Grove, I believe is his son, not listed as an employee of Flow Environmental, but he was there, but he did not stay for TDEC's closing comments and conclusions at the end of the inspection. He left around 1:45 p.m. And those concluding comments and kind of closeout session happened between 2 and 2:30. So
I'd like to respond to that. Grayson is hired by him as the inspector. Grayson is hired by his company as the inspector, and to what I understood, he was not invited to the debriefing that y'all had with LPL.
Yeah, I would say that I was standing right there, he was like, I'm just gonna take off, so there wasn't really any indication needed, everyone came back and got the trailer, so I think that's strange.
I think the main thing was a lot of the information right now about the inspection is being relayed by people who weren't there.
30 seconds up, let's go.
Here we go.